the gambling news nobody asked for, with our dear host, Dr. Desi.
Welcome back to the gambling news nobody asked for, the only show where billion-dollar corporations study human weakness and then describe it as user engagement. Tonight, casinos executives discovering luck may not be reliable, gambling money entering White House luxury mode, illegal gambling becoming richer than common sense, AI learning how to emotionally babysit gamblers, and José Mourinho somehow entering gambling chaos. So, in summary, humanity continues doing great. So, apparently, some gambling executives recently discovered something extraordinary. Luck is unreliable. Fantastic! The roulette industry finally met mathematics. Imagine owning casinos and suddenly going, "Wait, random outcomes are unstable. Bro, your logo is literally a spinning wheel." The gambling industry spent decades teaching customers, "This could be your night." And now executives are sitting in meetings saying, "Please avoid unrealistic expectations." That contradiction deserves a museum. To players, dream big. To investors, remain disciplined and focus on sustainable growth. To themselves, who approved the crypto project? To mark the occasion, the company's CEO published an opinion piece. Title: Luck is not a business strategy. Sir, you run a gambling company. Luck is literally what you sell. That's like a bakery announcing, "Bread is not a business strategy." And gambling advertisements always sell the exact same fantasy. One spin away, one bet away, one miracle away. Meanwhile, probability is outside smoking aggressively. The funniest part? The industry fully understands luck destroys long-term stability. They simply become philosophers only when it's their money. Gambling addiction becomes dangerous when people stop viewing losses realistically. The brain begins remembering emotional excitement more strongly than financial damage. And repeated exposure slowly changes decision making. Players become more impulsive, less patient, more emotionally reactive. That's why many addicted gamblers genuinely believe the next win will fix everything, even after years of evidence saying otherwise. Next story: casino billionaires are donating huge amounts connected to a White House ballroom project, because democracy apparently needed casino VIP expansions. This transformation is incredible. Years ago, gambling executives looked like movie villains. Dark suits, dark rooms, suspicious handshakes. Now they walk around looking like luxury hotel owners. One wealthy donor reportedly described the whole thing as patriotic, which is beautiful. Nothing says love for your country quite like slot machine money funding crystal chandelier. And casinos understand one thing better than almost anyone: appearance. If something looks expensive, people immediately assume it's respectable. That's why gambling ads are hilarious. Private jets, champagne, yachts, beautiful people laughing for absolutely no reason. Meanwhile, somewhere a guy named Kevin is sweating aggressively because Slovenian volleyball ruined his mortgage payment. And somehow, Kevin never appears in the commercial. You never see gambling ads saying, "Our platform now includes anxiety, sleep problems, and refreshing odds every 12 seconds." The industry figured something out years ago. If exploitation wears a suit, people stop calling it exploitation. When harmful behavior gets associated with status and luxury, people become less defensive psychologically. Addicted players often begin treating gambling as lifestyle behavior instead of high-risk behavior. And once the brain starts connecting gambling with success, escaping the addiction becomes significantly harder. At this point, illegal gambling isn't underground anymore. It has GDP energy, bigger than the GDP of Germany. Germany, with the cars, the engineering, the infrastructure that actually works. The illegal gambling market beat all of that, with websites that look like they were designed in 2006. Regulators keep reacting like this is unbelievable. As if gamblers historically love restrictions. Illegal platforms promise bigger bonuses, faster betting, less verification, fewer limits. So emotionally impulsive gamblers immediately react like, "Oh my god, they know me!" And these sites can be incredible. You deposit money. You lose money. You try to withdraw money, and suddenly customer support transforms into a ghost story. You send emails? No response. You open live chat? No response. You start wondering whether the company even exists. At some point, your support representative becomes a spiritual concept. And all gambling websites look identical anyway. Dark background, gold graphics, fake urgency, random men celebrating with money. Nobody knows who that guy is, but he appears in every gambling advertisement. I think he lives inside the internet. Addiction gradually weakens long-term thinking. Many compulsive gamblers become more reckless over time because immediate emotional stimulation starts feeling more important than future consequences. And illegal gambling environments amplify this even further, especially when there are no limits, delays, or protective systems. And now, artificial intelligence has entered gambling, because exploiting people manually was apparently becoming inefficient. AI systems can now study player behavior in real time. How long you play, how much you spend, what games you like, when you almost stop. So congratulations! Your gambling addiction now receives software updates. And the industry calls this personalized engagement, which sounds adorable, like Netflix recommending documentaries. In reality, the machine is sitting there like, interesting. Kevin appears emotionally vulnerable after midnight. One system can apparently predict when players are likely to leave, and then immediately responds with notifications, bonuses, special offers, free rewards. The machine basically sees self-control and goes, warning, users attempting responsible behavior. 20 years ago, casinos used flashing lights. Now they have engineers teaching algorithms how to emotionally stalk people. Humanity really looked at technology and said, let's make addiction smarter. AI-driven gambling systems can strengthen compulsive behavior very quickly. The more time addicted players spend inside these systems, the more predictable their behavior becomes. And once impulsive patterns become predictable, they also become easier to manipulate repeatedly. And finally, José Mourinho has entered gambling integrity news. Yes, that José Mourinho. José Mourinho appearing in gambling integrity news feels wrong. Not because of football, because Mourinho already looks like a man permanently investigating somebody. You could show me Mourinho standing in a parking garage holding mysterious documents, and I will immediately assume 3 governments are involved. The moment football and gambling scandals appear together, sports fans immediately transforms into detectives. Right now, somewhere online, there's a guy watching a 2017 corner kick, frame by frame, saying, "Look at the goalkeeper's left eyebrow." And gambling companies desperately need fans trusting sports, because sports betting survives entirely on emotions: hope, loyalty, tribalism, anger, delusion, especially delusion. Because every football fan secretly believes, no, my team is different. And then their team loses against people whose stadium is sponsored by agricultural equipment. When a football champion endorses gambling software, the ordinary person's brain does something specific. It associates winning with the product. Suddenly, gambling feels less like luck and more like skill. And the moment gambling feels like skill, people stop protecting themselves. So, today we learned casinos understand luck, just differently when money belongs to them. Political prestige can make gambling look respectable. Illegal gambling somehow became economically enormous. AI is learning how to industrialize manipulation. And José Mourinho still somehow looks like he knows classified information. But the disturbing part, modern gambling stopped looking dangerous. It became entertainment, content, luxury, lifestyle, and once harmful behavior starts looking normal, people stopped noticing the damage. This was the gambling news nobody asked for. See you next time.
Stay tuned, follow, and subscribe for more news nobody asked for.